or a tree chart or a pie diagram can be given, but there is one little change about the framing of questions. The first two questions are WH questions. The third and the fourth questions are multiple choice questions. The fifth question is choosing a correct statement among the three given statements. This is one of the major difference between question framing of the new pattern and the old pattern. And now you can go to question number 2. It is a text passage, but it is from unseen text. It also covers the same type of questions, 2 WH questions, 2 multiple choice questions. One is choosing a correct statement among the 3 given statements basing on the comprehension passage. And the third one is also a different type of comprehension. A passage or a story will be given to the children. Basing on the passage, 5 statements will be given after that, but the 5 statements will be given jumbled. The jumbled sentences basing on the given paragraph have to be arranged in a meaningful and perfect order. Now, let us go to creative expression or creative writing part. Under this section, the teachers have to prepare the children for 4 discourses. They are writing a letter, writing a news report, writing a biographical sketch, and writing a story using the hints or outline provided. These are the discourses. The question paper should be prepared on the same lines in the fixed pattern. Don't change the pattern. These discourses should be asked in general, basing on the general intelligence of the children. And about the part B, under paper 2, in part B, the questions are from vocabulary part. All the questions are from A reading basically, because we do not have vocabulary exercises under B reading and under C reading. Only in class 10 we have some vocabulary exercises under B and C readings also. We have to cover all the vocabulary exercises for this part. For this part we have 15 marks. If you understand the nature of this part B, there are 2 kinds of questions basing on vocabulary. One is standard vocabulary and the second one is specific vocabulary identified in the textbook. Under standard vocabulary, we will have opposite words, synonyms, classification of words, right form of the words, spelling. All these kinds of questions will be asked under standard vocabulary, and the remaining questions will be on the exercises provided under vocabulary section in the textbook. This is what we follow for paper 2 of class 9. Now, let us try to know about all the details regarding class 6 to 8 pattern. There is some difference between the question paper pattern of 9th and 10th classes and from class 6 to 8. The difference is here classes 6 to 9 we have only one question paper, that is for 80 marks. Regarding 9th and 10th we have 2 papers, paper 1 for 40, paper 2 for 40 marks. But here we have only one question paper, the time is 2 hours and 45 minutes. Regarding 6th to 8th, what is the pattern of the question paper? Let us try to know. Let me clarify the weightage of different discourses or academic standards for class 6 to 8. We have 4 academic standards for all the written tests. They are reading comprehension, vocabulary, grammar and creative expression. The examination will be on these 4 academic standards. We are not going to test or we are not going to give specific questions basing on conventions of writing and listening and speaking. These are embedded in some other activities as already told by our Ramesh sir. For 6 to class 8, we have the pattern like this. For reading comprehension, we have allotted 30 marks, for creative expression 20, for vocabulary 15, for grammar 15. Vocabulary and grammar will be as part B or a bit paper. Now, try to understand the pattern of the question paper from class 6 to 8. Under part A, the question paper will be for 50 marks. In section A, reading comprehension will be given for 30 marks. Weightage for the textual comprehension is 20 and the weightage for unseen comprehension is 10. If you observe in the display, question number 1 is a reading comprehension from A reading for 10 marks. 5 comprehension questions will be given. Each question carries 2 marks. And for question 2, reading comprehension from B reading. 5 comprehension questions, each question carries 1 mark. Question number 3, reading comprehension from C reading. 5 comprehension questions will be given, each question carries 1 mark. The first 3 comprehension passages are from the textbook. The 4th and the 5th reading passages for comprehension are unseen passages. They are 5 questions will be given, but the pattern of question is different from the above questions. 2 WH questions, 2 multiple choice questions and 1 multiple choice question for choosing the correct statement out of the given 3 statements. In this pattern, we will have 2 unseen comprehension passages. In question number 5, a study skill, it is also considered as unseen comprehension. Question number 4 and 5, both the comprehension passages are unseen. The first one is text and the next one is basing on study skills. You already know what is meant by study skills, giving a table with data or tree diagram or pie chart or bar chart with 5 questions, 2 WH questions, 2 multiple choice questions and 1 multiple choice question having 3 statements to choose a right statement among them. And if you go to section B, it is the part of creative writing. Under this, we will give 2 questions. One is basing on 4 discourses: conversation, description, diary and script for a speech. These 4 discourses should be based on textual content as you have seen in class 9, and you have to provide internal choice also. And in question number 7, discourses from general intelligence. Under this, we have to cover letter writing, news report, biographical sketch and a story providing hints. Out of these 4, you have to give 2 questions with internal choice. The student has to answer 1 question. And regarding part B, if you go to part B, this is what we say a bit paper in English. Under this, the student will be tested the vocabulary and the grammar points from the textbook. Under vocabulary, question number 8 will be on synonyms. A passage will be given to children, 4 words in that passage will be underlined. The student has to identify the synonyms from the given list. And question number 9, for opposite words. A passage will be given from a reading and 4 words will be underlined. The student has to write the opposite words of the underlined 4 words. And in question number 10, a passage will be given from a reading. 4 blanks will be provided. After every blank, there will be a word within brackets. The student has to use the right form of that word to fill that blank. And now go to spelling section. In spelling, there are 3 kinds of questions. They are completing the spelling of 2 words using vowel clusters. And question number B, completing the spelling of 2 words using suffixes or inflections. And question number C, identifying 2 words with wrong spelling and rewriting the correct spelling of them. These 3 kinds of questions will be given on spelling. For the model questioning, please refer to the model question paper. We will provide you in the website or in the form of a module to the schools. You can refer to the model questioning. And under question number 13, classification of vocabulary will be given. It should be asked from the textbook. And question number 13, this is purely from the vocabulary exercises given in the textbook. And now let us go to section D, grammar. Under grammar, there are 15 marks. A passage for editing will be given. It will be for 4 marks and a closed test will be provided for 4 marks. The remaining 7 marks will be based on the grammatical topics discussed in the textbook as mentioned in the model paper. You can refer to the model paper for model questioning. Moreover, the teachers have to remember one important thing, that is the way of questioning, how to frame different kinds of comprehension questions. It is a major thing to be noticed by all the teachers. Teachers have to improve their questioning skills. Now, I will try to clarify something about the model questioning. We have already labeled in different in various training programs also. We mentioned different sorts of questions. Now, I will explain you types of questions and the nature of questions. For example, literal or factual questions. What kind of questions can be called literal or factual questions? Please look at the display for that. There is a passage. Mother Teresa was born in the year 1910 in Skopje, Yugoslavia. For example, this is the information provided. This is the information provided as a passage. Now, you can look at it on the screen. Mother Teresa was born in the year 1910 in Skopje, Yugoslavia. The question is, when was Mother Teresa born or where was Mother Teresa born? These 2 questions are called literal questions or factual questions. This kind of questions should be asked, but all the questions should not be in this way. Most of the teachers try to ask this kind of questions. All the 5 comprehension questions will be asked like this. Then the student cannot improve his language skills. So, we have to reduce asking this type of questions. Now, let us go to the next one, deductive questions. Basing on the same paragraph, Mother Teresa was born in the year 1910 in Skopje, Yugoslavia. The question is, what is the nationality of Mother Teresa? Here the student cannot find the answer or write the answer by lifting the sentence as it is in the paragraph. He has to deduct his comprehensive ideas and come to the conclusion that she is an Yugoslavian. And then go to the next slide. Inferential questions. Now, read the passage. Gopi watched the cat coming outside of the kitchen room. He wanted to know what happened inside the kitchen. He went in. The milk bowl, which was full a few minutes ago, is empty now. This is the passage. Basing on this passage, we asked a question. Who drank milk? Actually, there is no direct answer for this question, but the student has to answer this question by using his general intelligence and taking the clues from the passage. This is called an inferential question. Now, let us go to next. Global questions. Global questions are like this. What is the passage about? What is the important character in the above passage? How many characters are there in the story? These are the questions which reflect the global understanding of a learner regarding comprehension passage. And finally, knowledge or basic comprehension questions. Where did the story take place? When did the story take place? Who are the main characters? Who is the speaker? Who is the speaker addressing? These questions are called knowledge and basic comprehension question. And finally, application based questions. Can you think of another story with a similar theme? Have you ever had an experience like this? These are called application based. The last one, it's one of the important types of questions, open ended question. Read the passage. Mohan saw an old beggar and took pity on him. He offered him a slice of bread. Now, you can frame a question like this. What would you do if you were in Mohan's place? These are the different types of questions the teachers have to focus while preparing their question papers under comprehension. So, teachers try to follow these guidelines to prepare your question papers in future. I hope you will do best. Thank you.
Thank you, Perey garu. Yes, these are the things about formative and summative assessment procedures. అయితే ఇప్పుడు మనకు ఒక డౌట్ ఉంటుంది, చాలా టెక్స్ట్ బుక్లో ఉండేటువంటి క్వశ్చన్స్ ఏమీ రానప్పుడు లాంగ్వేజ్లో అసలు ఇంగ్లీష్ పాఠం చెప్పడం ఎందుకు, దానివల్ల ఉపయోగం ఏంటి, టెక్స్ట్లో ఏమీ రావు కదా అన్న ఒక సందేహం ఉపాధ్యాయుల మధ్య చాలా ఉంటుంది. ఈ రివైజ్డ్ ప్రజెంట్ క్వశ్చన్ పేపర్స్లో ఆల్మోస్ట్ ఆల్ ద క్వశ్చన్స్ ఆర్ కమింగ్ ఫ్రమ్ ద టెక్స్ట్ బుక్, బట్ దే ఆర్ నాట్ డైరెక్ట్లీ ఇన్ ద ఫామ్ అన్నమాట. అంటే పాఠం చివరిచ్చినటువంటి ప్రశ్నల మీదనే కాన్సన్ట్రేట్ చేయడం కాకుండా దేర్ ఆర్ సో మెనీ పారాగ్రాఫ్స్ ఆర్ రీడింగ్ మెటీరియల్ గివెన్ ఇన్ ద టెక్స్ట్ బుక్. యూ హ్యావ్ టు యూటిలైజ్ దట్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ మెటీరియల్ ఇన్ ద టెక్స్ట్ బుక్ ఫర్ వేరియస్ పర్పసెస్. ఇప్పుడు మనం చెప్పినటువంటి రకరకాల ప్రశ్న విధానాలు ఏమైతే ఉన్నాయో వాటికి అనుకూలంగా టెక్స్ట్ బుక్లో ఉండేటువంటి కంటెంట్ని ఉపయోగించుకోవడం ద్వారా పిల్లల్లో లాంగ్వేజ్ ఎఫిషియన్సీని డెవలప్ చేయడానికి వీలవుతుంది. అట్ ద సేమ్ టైం తెలుగు మీడియంలో ఉన్న పిల్లలకి అదే ఇంగ్లీష్ ఉంది, ఇంగ్లీష్ మీడియంలో పిల్లలకి అదే ఇంగ్లీష్ ఉంది, ఇంగ్లీష్ మీడియం పిల్లలు చాలా అవలీలగా దీన్ని రాసేస్తారన్న ఒక అపోహ కూడా మన దగ్గర ఉంది. ఇప్పుడే మీరు చూసారు డిఫరెంట్ టైప్స్ ఆఫ్ క్వశ్చన్స్ ఉన్నప్పుడు ఇన్ఫరెన్షియల్ క్వశ్చన్ ఎలా ఉంది, డిడక్టివ్ క్వశ్చన్ ఎలా ఉంది, గ్లోబల్ క్వశ్చన్ ఎలా ఉంది అని అన్నప్పుడు ఆ పిల్లలు కొంచెం జాగ్రత్తగా ఆలోచించి రాయాల్సినటువంటి అవసరం ఉంటుంది. కాబట్టి ఒక ఈక్వల్ ప్లాట్ఫామ్ మీద తీసుకురావడం వల్ల ఇద్దరికీ సరిపోయేటువంటి స్టాండర్డ్స్లో ఆ ప్రశ్న పత్రాలని తయారు చేసాం. కాబట్టి జీవో నెంబర్ 82లో మెన్షన్ చేసినటువంటి అంశాలు లాంగ్వేజ్ని నేర్పడానికి, లాంగ్వేజ్ని డెవలప్ చేయడానికి ఉపయోగించేవిగా ఉన్నాయే తప్పక ఇంగ్లీషు అంటే కేవలం పాఠంలో ఉన్న కథ చదివి పూర్తి చేసేటువంటి క్రమం కాదు. కాబట్టి ప్లీజ్ ఆల్ ద టీచర్స్ షుడ్ కీప్ ఇన్ మైండ్ formative assessment is very important. It plays a very dominant role in teaching learning process. At the same time, the questions given in the question paper are mandatory. ఆ ప్లేస్లో ఆ పర్టికులర్ క్వశ్చనే వస్తుంది. సినోనిమ్ అంటే ఆ క్వశ్చన్ సినోనిమ్ నుంచే వస్తుంది. యాంటోనిమ్ అంటే యాంటోనిమ్స్ లాగే ఉంటుంది. ఆ క్వశ్చన్ నెంబర్ 12 అంటే అది ఇలాగే ఉంటుంది. అయితే సేమ్ టైం టెక్స్ట్ బుక్లో ఉండేటువంటి పేరాల నుంచి వస్తుంది. కాబట్టి పిల్లలతో చాలా ఎక్కువగా పాఠాన్ని చదివించడం అన్నదాన్ని మనం ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయాలి. అలాగే ఏ టైప్ ఆఫ్ క్వశ్చన్స్ని ఎగ్జామ్లో అడగడానికి అవకాశం ఉంది అన్న దగ్గర మనకు చాలా ఉదాహరణలు కూడా ఇక్కడ మెన్షన్ చేశారు. అందుకే ఇక్కడ మేము మోడల్ పేపర్ అంటూ ఇవ్వట్లేదు, నేచర్ ఆఫ్ క్వశ్చన్ ఎలా ఉంటుంది అన్నదాన్ని చెప్తున్నాం. కాబట్టి ఆ నేచర్ని దృష్టిలో పెట్టుకుని టీచర్ క్లాస్ రూమ్లో ప్రాక్టీస్ ఇవ్వడం ద్వారా ఇంగ్లీష్ లాంగ్వేజ్ని మనం మంచిగా తీసుకెళ్ళగలుగుతాం. ప్రభుత్వం ఆశిస్తున్నటువంటి విధానం కూడా ప్రస్తుతం గ్లోబల్ నీడ్ చాలా ఉంది కాబట్టి, గ్లోబల్ సిటిజన్గా మన పిల్లల్ని మార్చాల్సిన అవసరం ఉంది కాబట్టి, మాస్టరీ ఓవర్ ద ఇంగ్లీష్ లాంగ్వేజ్ అని అన్నది వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్ కాబట్టి, ప్లీజ్ కీప్ ఆల్ దీస్ పాయింట్స్ ఇన్ మైండ్ టు ఇంప్లిమెంట్ ఫార్మేటివ్ అండ్ సమ్మేటివ్ అసెస్మెంట్ ప్రొసీజర్స్ ఎఫెక్టివ్ ఇన్ మేనర్. థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్. దిస్ ఈస్ ద టైమ్ ఫర్ లంచ్ బ్రేక్. లంచ్ బ్రేక్ తర్వాత మనం 2 గంటలకి తిరిగి కలుసుకుంటాం. ఆ సెషన్స్లో మనం సంస్కృతం, అలాగే హిందీ మరియు ఉర్దూకు సంబంధించినటువంటి ప్రశ్నపత్రాల విధానం గురించి తెలుసుకుందాం. 2 గంటలకి మళ్ళీ మనం తిరిగి కలుసుకుందాం. అంతవరకు భోజన విరామం. సెలవు.